table.
Yeah, so Vladimir, that's going to be interesting. We don't see that coming out of Immortoru. We saw Cassiopeia out of him. Cassiopeia is the contested pick coming out of both mid laners, so it would be interesting to see that it is left up, so it isn't. Gets taken out immediately.
So much focus on the mid laners already in picks and bans. 3 bans in, each one meant for the mid lane. But it wouldn't be a Dark Passage pick ban anymore without the Fiora taken away. Chiefs looking for their final ban as the Gnar will be taken away from Swiper. That man has proved himself an absolute monster on that champion when given the opportunity. The last ban coming in from Chiefs will be the Ashe and Dark Passage. Now taking their time on this first rotation. Raz, what do you think is the best bet here?
It would be really interesting for them to pick up Shen. They have been a team that has literally relied on their split push. Either, of course, Fiora is going to be gone, but Trundle's still available if they want to take that chance. But actually, they're just going to be going for a Shen, the opposite of that very split push that they've been looking for.
Immediate priority on that global presence. Shen known to go relatively even in a decent number of lane matchups, but maybe taking some risks here with the early top lane pick. As you can see, Chiefs hovering through their options. Trundle's up and available, as is the GP. But no hesitation here as they lock in the Jhin, the Trundle to follow. Ray's going to get one more shot at the masked man of murder.
Yeah, already a great pickup on the Trundle. I love it coming out of the Chiefs simply because it's a flex pick first and foremost. And it's a flex pick that already has a good matchup going into the top lane. So if it is a top lane Shen, 100% it will be, unless if you are a cheesy one, and like yourself some support Shen, then you'll always have that positive matchup either way. So it's on Chiefs to hold on to their support top lane flex, and so we should be able to see a blind pick mid coming in the next rotation.
Dark Passage once again taking their time. You know that both these teams, it's absolutely crucial to find the win here. Not only are you bringing yourself up, you're knocking the opposition down. A lot of junglers left on the table. Everything left on the table as the bans have been focused everywhere else. Shen up means the Hecarim looks a little bit stronger for these teams. Chain CC looking good so far. Rek'Sai and Lissandra will be the final lock-ins.
So we're already seeing the solo lanes coming out of Dark Passage. A lot of control from them. Going to be interesting to see how Immortoru can utilize this Lissandra. A lot of... Already we can see bot lane dive potential. So Chiefs have to recognize this and either pick to push into this matchup or pick some dive of their own. Already amazing pick ban strategies coming out of both teams with the coaches of Lelouch for Dark Passage and Jish on Chiefs. Both coaches, this is really entertaining to watch.
Yeah, you're going to see the evolution of the draft as the tournaments move forward and these teams really figuring out what they want to put the priority on. Swiffer looking back. Do I really have to play Malzahar? He asks.
It's a good point because he simply has not played Malzahar throughout the split season. They chose to ban it.
Shifting to the Syndra here. A little bit more power there in the mid lane, but a lot less mobility. Does opt to go for the cleanse. We'll see if he sticks with that one. But the Gragas coming in for Spooks. That's a way to start the fight that the Chiefs might have been looking for. Or a way to knock back the Shen, knock back the Lissandra.
Yeah, already they're combating this dive potential coming out of Dark Passage with just outright kill potential in the mid lane. So Gragas and Syndra, not only will you be able to punish the matchup, maybe even level 2, depending. We've already saw Rampage take a level 2 kill on this Lissandra pick in this very matchup when they had a Lee Sin. Probably not going to be as easy as a Lee Sin pick, but hey, you still have a lot of level 2 potential on this champion. So Lissandra, from that point forward, has to watch out. Can barely find that opportunity to push out and roam, let alone stay alive in lane.
Got to be careful here, of course. Not a whole lot of damage yet on the Dark Passage composition. Maybe looking to balance that out with the Lucian. Trying to take their time to figure out the best support choice here. At the end of the day, it is going to be the Lucian Braum lane. More CC added to the table, as well as a little bit of early game power.
Yeah, so that's why they left this pick open. They're finally going to choose what they want here. Trundle can make this bot lane matchup fairly good for them. Match the skirmishing potential of Lucian and Braum with the outright poke potential and skirmish from Jhin and Trundle. I like this hover coming out of the Chiefs as simply you give this man, this champion, Alawi. He will not only split push, he'll become a 1v4
You're playing with my hopes here.
He loves the champion. I know. Usually he's the one hovering it.
I know.
It's Egypt hovering it now.
Maybe Ejim's doing the troll hovers for him, cycling through the signature picks of Swiper. But they're hovering on it for a long time. Alawi, of course, maybe a good option to all the engaged present on the opposite side, but the Chiefs coming down to it. They're not going to take the risk. They're not going to go for comfort. They're going to go for the raw power of the Gangplank.
That's honestly just smarter. Gangplank is open and available.
You get me so hype and you just tear me down. You're like, yeah, but that's better. I'm like, no.
I like to do that. But yeah, Gangplank is a smarter pick. The fact that it's available once again is just really showing from the bans themselves. A lot of target banning coming from both teams. Of course, you got to ban out the Gnar against this guy. So now that we're seeing the Gangplank, we've got ourselves a fight comp. Maybe even counter dive.
Interesting place to be as well. Not a whole lot of upfront damage on the side of Dark Passage, but a lot of CC. You can see our focus matchup. It is in the bottom lane. Zeitnot versus Raze. A rough tournament thus far for Zeitnot, and a few lackluster games for Raze, but for the most part, two forces of nature for their respective teams, consistently putting out that DPS in the coming fights.
Yeah, and this could be a time for Zeitnot to prove himself. Crazy and aggressive jungler, first and foremost. So he is going to definitely, if he gets this matchup, a positive one at that, Gragas versus Rek'Sai, he's going to pressure in 100%, and at the same time, give his bot lane the opening available to either go for that dive or just zone them off completely. So definitely we're going to have to see how that jungle matchup works out.
And how does this early game go in terms of individual lane phase? We've talked a lot about Shen Gangplank. That feels relatively neutral, but looking at this bottom lane, we've got the Jhin Trundle versus the Lucian Braum. Lucian Braum, formerly, I think, one of the most terrifying bottom lanes to play against in terms of early aggression, dude.
Yeah.
How do you think Raze and Ejim are going to stack up here?
It's definitely going to be a brawl. Trundle should be able to mitigate that damage. His pillar will be fairly strong in that, and if Dark Passage ever go for that all-in 2v2, which is what they pick for, then Trundle is strong in and of himself. Not only is he going to lay down that exhaust on Lucian, going to bite him a few times.
More true, Zeitnot and Rogu moving in. Have to see if Ejim can use the early aggressive power of Trundle in this lane.
But with that being said, the strength of bot lane is also incredibly reliant on the strength of mid lane. Mortoru is going to try and shove this out, but if he ever does, of course, Swiffer and Spooks, Syndra and Gragas can definitely punish him from pushing out, and he will 100% be zoned in from this wave because he won't be able to commit to completely shoving into tower. So he really needs quite a bit of help from Kirei in this lane. Kirei is going to be definitely looking to tend to him at all times, maybe even drop a pink ward so he doesn't get completely demolished from this 2v1 or 2v2 perhaps.
Interesting place, of course, for both sides to be. Now keeping your eyes on the Dark Passage composition, of course, a lot more globals between the double teleport and the Rek'Sai ultimate. But Chiefs with a pretty standard start here. Going to give Spooks a little bit of assistance. And Kirei actually starting on the bottom side. Maybe telegraphing his attention to go to the mid lane or to the top.
Yeah, we might see, this is definitely a very cheesy start from him, where he's going to start bot side, take that, going to go for a full clear on his side of the jungle, and then look for a gank early. You're going to have to expect that, or just a scuttle crab. Either way, he's putting a lot of pressure on this bottom side of the map.
A lot of fans of Dark Passage there. You can see 92% in their favor. To be fair to the fans of Oceania, most of them probably aren't awake yet. Still very early in the morning here.
I'm surprised the Turkish fans are busy watching this instead of perhaps some European games. I guess they're done by now.
What? European games were done before we started, my friend.
That's true.
But to be fair, I have no idea what time it is in Turkey. Maybe all the Turkish fans are up super late. We'll figure out fan bases later, though.
That's true.
As the matchup continues on the top side. Shen with the early lead here, but early leads not always going to matter too much to the Gangplank. But here is the pressure you were talking about. And more true, taking the time to push in the mid lane. But interestingly enough, his flash is already down.
Cheesy start from Rek'Sai. Decides not to go for this gank. He's kind of stalling in, trying to figure out pressure-wise whether he can go for it or not. Chiefs are aware of it, though.
Ejim barreling forward. Rogu going to get locked up. That's a decent amount of damage and a trade in their favor. You hear Raze I love that about Jin. Just counting down.
Mm.
Ready to throw. Ready to throw that crit down in a moment's notice. We'll get the replay here on how exactly this flash was blown. Ah, yes. This right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the threat of that Syndra. That's that level 2 gank you talked about. Spooks, a man with a mission.
It's good that Immorturu was aware of it. He definitely needed to be. That's the only real fear that he had to showcase, of being able to just blow flash immediately, because he has to shove in. If he concedes shove early, then he's already lost the matchup. So he needs to do it, which means that he needs to be extra aware for Spooks' positioning. And that was great from him to be able to just reactively flash.
I like how Jin's audio is just a little bit louder than everyone else's so we can hear everything he says. Of course, looking back on the mid lane, the flash not costing Immorturu too much, although he has had to back off in terms of the early push. Things pretty even across the board, except for on the top side. Swiper really struggling to pick up some of this farm. Will recoup a decent amount as that wave crashes in, but you can see Elwind not afraid to lay down the early gauntlet.
The best thing about how Immorturu was playing that lane, he was so far back, even though he had the ward on the left side, he was playing as if he had no ward. So right now he was playing, that was an incredible mind game. Spooks right there was wasting his time sitting in that bush for how long? So now he's just taking a scuttle crab and walking straight back to his camps.
Yep. Maybe not the most ideal pathing, although the junglers remain even on CS for now. However, Kirei making this bottom lane a priority, at least the bottom side of the map. The junglers may be set to meet here. Kirei potentially caught out. Syndra not going to step away from the lane.
Smited early just so he can get a vision on where Rek'Sai is completely. Either Rek'Sai commits and his lanes can help him out, or he walks away and he gets a free camp for himself. So good choice to smite early. Definitely actually saved his bottom lane here because they're not going to commit
Raise
to
decent amount of damage. Flash backwards. Kirei still going to get the knockup. Raise now set to fall. Will it be enough? Heal comes out. First blood dropping. Ejim locked up under tower. Gragas making it here, but it's a bit too late. Dark Passage taking control.
The communication probably wasn't there. That should have saved the bottom lane. The fact that the Wolf Spirit did catch Kirei walking towards for that tunnel into the bottom lane. But of course they didn't notice it. And they fall victim to that gank that he was definitely looking for about 4 minutes now.
Backing off. I mean, took the time, took the setup. Good patience on the execution there. Getting the first blood in that early lane could be massive. Of course, the gold does go to Rek'Sai in the end. That's a brief boon, or a small boon, rather, to the Chiefs. Not quite as much gold onto that Lucian, onto that 80 carry, but a massive CS lead already in the Lucian's favor. 53-36. Raze and Ejim really struggling on the bottom side.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse. The reason for it now is they already had dive pressure bot side if time went forward. Now Gragas has to expend time towards this bottom lane. Can't help out the mid lane, so Immorturu has time to actually farm, and he's getting this blue buff for himself. This is a perfect time for Dark Passage to not only help out Immorturu in this lane, but now, because of that, this dive potential is that much easier with how far behind Raze is.
And you can see the wards behind Raze as well. The potential for a collapse is here. Dark Passage want to commit some of their globals, but Spooks and Swiffer are in the mid lane.
He's never aware if there's a if there's a ward there now. Lissandra is not sure. He's going to have to ward here. There we go. Got him. He's playing incredibly smart.
Has the ward, waits to throw it down. It's maybe spending a little bit too much time there hesitating. Really trying to make sure this counts. Really hoping to snowball Swiffer here. And Rogu absolutely fearless on the front lines as Raze is honestly just forced to use these abilities to farm up. This is a bit of a grim early game for the Chiefs. That first blood and the farm differential giving a 1k gold lead over to Dark Passage.
Chiefs has a very linear win condition in that they just need to stall out this game. They just need to hold on and counter engage. And they need to set up mid lane well. But Dark Passage know this incredibly well. Kirei is in here constantly looking to either exude pressure, as I said early, to zone out Raze and Ejim. So Gangplank, or at least Gragas, has to always play towards this lane to defend them. But every second he does so means just freedom for Immorturu to just farm up.
And in this case, freedom to push out and then start to roam bottom as well. So bit of a terrifying spot for the Chiefs to be in. However, stepping forward in this game, Gangplank continuing to farm well on the top side. As you mentioned, the late game should be in their favor. We're only 8 minutes in. We're a bit away from that, but not too much of a loss in the early game. Dark Passage doing a good job to get aggressive, but the pressure is on them to make plays.
This is really scary. Zeitnot right now is holding and freezing this lane. It's not so much freezing, but he's slow pushing it. The next wave should be held onto as well. So right now, Immortaru does have freedom here. Rek'Sai's in position. They're definitely going to be looking for pressure to either dive or zone.
I like the dramatic pause. They're looking to dive, and then you're waiting. I saw. You're waiting for the action.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. I guess they could just be looking to pressure out this blue buff. Kure has the ability to do so, but nope. Just kidding.
Swiffer says, I would just rather this not be in an area that's contested. Going to pick it up, going to toss it out. And now Kure maybe overextended. Chain CC coming in. Nice gank coming in from the Chiefs.
Really well done. Lissandra was nowhere to be found. Went back to mid lane. And of course, Gragas is there to hand off blue. There's no reason to be there.
Exhaust goes down. Zeitnot is in trouble. Raze holding onto that crit. They're waiting for the Shen in here. Flash forward. They're trying to lock down Raze. Raze has to flash out. He's waiting. He's not going to do it. Gets cut down in the end. Wondering if we're going to see it. Ejim cut down as well. A quick 2 kills picked up for Dark Passage.
Is there a reason why he didn't flash?
I'm wondering if that's a spectator bug and that if he didn't actually have flash.
Yeah, he must have used flash earlier because, well, that was just a really good re-engage of Dark Passage, but the fact that they were able to burn Shen ulti to start that entire point would have been great if they were able to disengage. So that would have actually been a really good play from for Chiefs if they were able to bait it out just to disengage. But of course they weren't able to do that. That was just a positive fight for Dark Passage overall. They got the tower down bot 2, so first tower gold on top of that.
Chiefs finally taking an inch. Dark Passage taking 2 in return. Grabbing the double kill as well as that first tower gold and pulling into a 2k gold lead. Things looking good so far. Rek'Sai with the early Tiamat. Shen picking up that first item. You can see the gold differences on your screen. While the mid lane may be even. Top lane and bottom lane greatly in favor of Dark Passage.
One really scary point is there is a ward behind Raze. It's getting pinged out. This TP pressure, it's not a TP advantage, but it's definitely a long lane for Jhin as we get into a replay. Poorly timed replay, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. There might be a teleport gank happening on live. But
so right now, he just gets slowed down through the exhaust and the Braum ulti.
Oh, I see now. He was seconds away from the flash coming off cooldown, but because of how little of a sliver it is on that tiny yellow box,
yeah,
it looked like he had it up. So seconds away from flash being up for Raze. Either a very well-timed engage coming in from Dark Passage or a little bit of luck, but either way, it goes in their favor. Kure once again making his presence known on the bottom side.
So they're just going to get this shove in, which is good for Jhin. He didn't get zoned out of the wave completely. He's able to answer to this wave and the next incoming, which means it's also poor because Dark Passage are going to be able to pressure the rest of the map.
Swiffer. The blue buffs belong to him. The jungle may not, and right now the mid lane may not, but they're getting a brief respite there.
Yeah, it's a constant drive-by here. Dark Passage are definitely going to be starting to pressure up this mid lane now that they were able to deal with that bot. If they lose this mid tower, this is going to be quite unfortunate.
Oh, more true on the front lines here. Maybe trying to bait some aggression. Spooks moving in. Ejim moving forward. Rogu locked up for a brief moment, but the ult comes out. Maybe just looking for the disengage. Curtain call coming in. It might be curtains for Rogu. Shot going to miss. Swiffer going to connect it in the end, though. Chiefs punishing the aggression coming in from Dark Passage.
Guess he had already used his W. Could not go towards his teammate at all after that. So great pillar coming from Ejim to be able to just separate him from the rest of the team. And Jhin ulti to just zone the rest of them from trying to help Braum at all. So just a great understanding, great awareness.
Good little pickup for them. Once again, buying more time. We talked about this earlier. The Chiefs just need to scale. Onus is on Dark Passage to make the aggressive moves, and they've been doing good thus far. They still have the lead.
Problem here is that they have no right to scale. They've lost quite a bit of pressure on this bot side. Right now, they can Dark Passage can constantly look to shove in bot anytime they want to and pressure out this mid turret. Chiefs now, they have to choose to either prioritize mid turret or farm in time for Jhin, and they just simply don't have the time for Jhin to farm up.
Slowly their options are being taken away from them as Dark Passage continue to apply pressure in the mid lane.
We even see Dark Passage looking for this 1-3-1, which means that Dark Passage has all the opportunity to now clean up wards around this area. Dragon is now in their court. They can choose to take it or not.
Splitting their pressure across the map thus far. Rek'Sai and Braum moving down. They may opt to take the Dragon. Immortru looming in the shadows, ready to move in at a moment's notice if Raze or anyone else overextends. Spooks making sure to take control of the jungle.
Ooh, this is scary.
Dark Passage grouping up.
This is the best thing about the 1v1, 1-3-1, especially since it's a Lissandra in the side lane. Jhin cannot push another wave. He is so limited simply because, sure, he's behind, but at the same time, he is so incredibly immobile that he needs to walk mid to get some pressure going for himself.
Oh, Spirit coming out. That should spot them in the jungle. Will not move to Lissandra till now. We'll take a chance as they take down that Dragon to look exactly what happened in the mid lane.
Ooh, Shen ulti actually used here.
Good play coming in from Swiffer. Knowing his early power. Dark Passage moving in to take a Cloud Drake will make it that much easier for them to move in this 1-3-1.
See,
Ocean next.
Yeah, that's a good point. No Shen ulti for a little while. It's going to come up in perhaps a minute or two. Which means that if Chiefs choose to fight here, it is a possibility. Gangplank ulti is up. They can also just choose to stall out through that. But Jhin really needs to escape the side lane. I know he wants to farm up, but currently he simply is getting threatened by Lissandra. Can't even get dove. So right now Spooks is in between both lanes to at least help out.
You can see Immortru just consistently waiting in that bush, ready to punish Raze if he does overstep. But in the mid lane, things looking a little bit better for the AD carry of Dark Passage. He's had a rough tournament thus far, but Zeitnot off to a great start. 30 CS lead for him, taking the farm in the mid lane. Working towards that Black Cleaver as well.
He's dead. They're both dead. All AD carries are dead. They have made the wrong decisions. Every single one of them.
I'm glad you're watching the minimap. I'm watching what was on my screen, and nothing was on my screen. Nothing. We're going to get those replays at some point, I'm sure.
So we didn't catch it, of course. We're going to see the replay much later on, but it was just a simple case of Raze had no reason to walk in for a second wave. As I said, if you're a Jhin, you only want to pick up the wave at your tower and walk mid. There's no reason for you to walk near that bush. He ended up walking near that bush and just got bursted down by Immortru. So,
and at the same time, I'm sitting here praising Zeitnot. Zeitnot takes one wrong step, and Swiffer more than happy to shepherd him to his death real quick. The power of that Syndra showing up. We'll take a look at the bottom play.
So why are you doing this? You don't have your support anywhere near you. There's no reason to do this. This is just a simple case of you being a Jhin. It doesn't matter if you're far ahead, far behind, or even ahead.
Poor Raze really getting shut down here, receiving so much attention from the side of Dark Passage.
But this is a great lane assignment from Dark Passage. They're so far ahead that they know that they have that Syndra can't walk bot, Jhin can't walk bot. They have no answer to this 1-3-1. Their only answer is to group up and fight.
GP Alto being
Zeitnot
used to burn this down. Zeitnot taking a lot of damage, and meanwhile the Chiefs are on the bottom side pressuring in, and Swiffer's in the mid lane getting some damage down. This could be good for the Chiefs. Dark Passage grouping up to continue their siege. A 3v2 on the top side. Swiffer ready for that man to move in. Spooks missing out on the body slam tower set to fall. Shen assigned to the bottom side, may be able to stop the pressure. Dark Passage grabbing a tower.
Do wonder how far they've gone in this bot tower. Not far at all. They're not going to be able to take it. Dark Passage have all the opportunity in the world to stop them. So right now, Chiefs are incredibly behind here. Especially since Immortru is in a great position to either choose to just shove mid and stop any pressure coming in, or he can go bot.
Looking for an opportunity here. Ejim trying to zone the Shen off as Raze reloads and looks to burn down this tower. We'll even up the gold, actually. But Dark Passage still with so much priority. They're at a very strong point in the game right now. Have the power of that Lissandra.
So that was great from Spooks to just catch out 2 people. He needed to see if they were rotating. If they were, then that gave a lot of safety for the Chiefs' bottom lane to just back away from the turret altogether and then just look to pressure mid with Syndra. So they had a lot of control there.
Of course, looking into the mid lane, this is going to be the next point of priority for Dark Passage. Spook taking the time to clear up the jungle, but this may be a mistake, or they may be choosing to just give this one up. Gangplank Cannon Barrage not available yet. Spook's moving forward. Will have to ult if he wants to protect the tower. Good damage coming in. Flashes in. Body slam back. Just trying to buy time for the team. TP down into mid lane. Cannon Barrage coming out. Curtain call. Rogu getting caught up. Will try to block out some of the damage, but Kirei is on the front line. Has he overstayed his welcome? Shen ult coming in. Swiffer, the monster on the backside.
Ooh.
Down goes the Lucian. Down goes the Braum. Double kill for the Chiefs and an explosion of aggression in the mid lane.
And they keep the tower up as well. But they're just not done here. No, they are. They're just taking the tower. All well and done. Well done from the Chiefs. It just came down to the fact that Spooks was waiting. He had the opportunity. He could have ultied the wave entirely so that they didn't take the tower. But he knew that his team was coming, so he waited. He waited to set it up. And he set up that entire fight, and that was well needed for the Chiefs to take the game back.
Chiefs now taking a lead for themselves. They have the scaling team, and Swiffer is going off this game. 4-0-0 the scoreline for the Syndra. No assists because he is the man solo deleting the opposition. A good look for them thus far, but they have to respect Dark Passage. More true. The cheeky leap in on the program, Lysandra, just to close out that tower, and the gold's still very close.
That was really important because that 131 coming in from Dark Passage was so impactful. Not only was it really stopping Raze from farming up, now he's able to do it very firmly. He's coming right back in CS now. He's only about 13 CS behind. He was far, far behind that before. And he got 3 assists to his name, so now he's going into team fights. Not only was he impactful in the last team fight, but in the next team fight, he's going to be as strong, if not stronger than Zeitnot.
Excellent spot to be in, of course. The curtain call has been crucial for the Chiefs. Now moving forward, though, they got to respect Dark Passage still. Dark Passage, decent leads in a lot of the lanes, namely the bottom, as well as the top side, as Shen continues to be a menace, split pushing out.
They will be forced to lose this dragon, though. Shen is forcing this entire wave coming in. He has the ability to TP in. Doesn't have, or at least I think he has Shen ulti.
Spooks maybe looking to contest. Has a level advantage. Kirei locked up. Not going to get knocked out of the pit. Spooks getting cut down. Are they going to be able to get the dragon? He is. Spooks trying to make it out. Raises on the backside. Spooks now leaping back to the safety of his AD carry. Snare coming in. Lysandra going in. So many members are low. The Chiefs are getting cut down. Swiffer going to throw one back, though, turning it onto the Lucian. Ejim is on the front lines. Chiefs, can they take control of the fight? Immortaru delivering Shen into the back line. Gangplank is down. Elwind is here. A flash from Raze. The sidestep looking to cut down the Lysandra. He's going to get it. 4 stacks onto Raze. Will they get it? No, the pillar from Ejim. The flash from Elwind and an absolute bloodbath in the pit.
So they get the dragon. The Chiefs are able to steal it, but they lose out the team fight that actually resulted from that. Here's the problem. Even though it was 3 for 4, which is not that bad of a trade for the Chiefs, they're definitely going to be able to lose some waves off of that. The only one able to take this wave coming into the mid lane is going to be Trundle. Not very impactful.
And truly just a back and forth fight, but you can see Immortaru and Elwind were working together to shut down the Chiefs, and while it looked so good at the start, Lysandra in the middle of that team just did too much damage. Raze, some flashy plays overall.
Yeah, exactly. That was really well played from Immortaru. He was able to E in. Sure, he had the Shen ulti on top of that, but then use his proto belt, I suppose, to get the last hit on Gangplank. And so, of course, Kirei was completely blown away here. Spooks had no way to re-engage in the fight. But that was great from Immortaru, was to be able to zone in the fight. Rogu's ulti as well set the fight going for them. Swiper trying to escape. Couldn't. Simply could not escape at all. So it was a really awkward position from Raze, Ejim, and Gragas. Simply could not take the fight coming forward because Elwind is too damn tanky.
And overall, just a very back-and-forth game. The team trading blow for blow. A small lead for Dark Passage, but a dragon apiece.
It's an incredibly small lead. It's actually just...
This game is insanely close.
Yeah, so now real question is, What's the pressure looking like? Answer is, well, fairly good for the Chiefs. Curie right now they're just setting up for this Baron side. Right now there are 3 pinks. So that's incredibly good for Dark Passage.
Ray's now moving up to clear out this wave. The pink boards, as you mentioned, keeping the vision. And consistently, Immortaru hovering around the bottom side, keeping the gangplank occupied, keeping that pressure there. Of course, has the CC to interrupt the teleport. So
it's going to be really bad for Chiefs.
Spooks moving in. Stun coming in from Swiffer.
Immortaru
blocked
on the
out.
side.
Cannon barrage on the side. Immortaru looking for the flank. The Chiefs are getting caught up. Pop! Go the Chiefs. Swiffer and Spooks cut down.
And that's exactly what Immortaru needed to do. He needed to rotate from these side lanes. He wasn't doing it earlier. Every time he was shoving in Rays, he didn't rotate. He needed to take that fight and move towards the rest of his team. Now he completely obliterated Spooks, and Swiffer can look towards getting this Baron.
Are they going to be able to steal it? Curtain Call comes out. We've seen it steal Barons before. They're just trying to shut down onto Immortaru. He's saving the 4th shot, taking his time here, but he's running out of opportunities. He needs to fire it soon. Kirei is so low. He's going to go down. Can they steal it? The health bars are so low. Can they get it? No. Dark Passage, get it back. But Swiper is here. Raze is here. The exhausted down. Raze getting cut through. Raze manages to get the double kill. He's out. He's alive. The fight is still going. Swiper is still alive. Immortaru, will he fall? Ejim on the front lines, but he is only a support. The double kill for the Braum, and Immortaru now on a killing spree.
That's a really well done fight from Dark Passage. Sure, they lost Kirei. They're still able to get the Baron and have the Baron on the necessary champions. Not only do Elwind and Immortaru have Baron buff, they have double TP. Elwind will get his soon. They can definitely look to clean up the rest of the game from their 1-3-1. Immortaru is already going towards bottom lane. Definitely an amazing play, an amazing precision for Dark Passage.
Dark Passage commanding confidence to come in there. Kirei gets cut down, and it is so close to a steal, but they close out the Baron anyway. All of that starting from a single misposition coming in from the Chiefs. They do manage to make the most of it, however. The gold, 4K in the favor of Dark Passage. Take a look at that one more time.
And here's the fight. Kirei was tanking quite a bit. Of course, the GP barrel's doing so much damage up in this point of the game that you have to respect it. Lissandra able to burst down the rest of the Baron. The exhaust coming down on Raze means he has to walk forward. He gets stunned down, gets bursted by Immortaru. So honestly, that looked like an incredible play and incredible positioning from Chiefs. Could not take the fight.
Oh, moving for more. Here comes the curtain call. Oh no, Immortaru is on the back line. Swiffer is in trouble. Cleanses out. Is it going to be enough? The Zanyas comes in. Immortaru has overstepped the Twilight's refuge, the Spirit's refuge. Not enough. Elwyn diving too deep under the tower. Raze on the front lines. Now the dancing grenade dipping through the team of Dark Passage and dealing so much damage. Chiefs holding on.
That's not what Dark Passage want to do. That's not what they should have done. They have waves coming in on sides, but they didn't play with them well. They need to force this 1-3-1, or else their Baron goes to misuse. It's gonna be gone before they know it. So that was a dive well repelled by the Chiefs. They sent their full lineup there, able to push the dive and get the kill on Immortaru. That's what they need. Now that he doesn't have Baron, the only one that it's going to be useful on is Shen. So really good play from the Chiefs to be able to repel it and kill Immortaru. So now they don't have that 1-3-1 going for them anymore.
Excellent defensive play coming in from the Chiefs. Dark Passage overstaying their welcome in the middle lane. Still have the lead, still have the advantage and pressure across the map, but definitely cannot afford to keep making mistakes like that. The engages from Immortaru have been honestly amazing, but just that one time it was an overstep. The team not ready to respond.
Very unlucky for Dark Passage that it seems like every time they go towards Baron, it's a Cloud Dragon. And so their control around this area of the map hasn't really given them much. But that's a breath of relief for the Chiefs here, as they can really recuperate, maybe get some wards down in the opposite side of the map. They really do need it.
You see Spooks waiting in the wings here. Maybe looking for the flank. It's not going to go for it in the end. Swiffer more than happy to just clear out these waves.
And we've seen what late game Gangplank can do. It's only 30 minutes now, but if they're able to stall out, that's something that you have to respect. If you're Dark Passage, try and close out this game early. You do not want to face the sheer amount of damage and the crit that he's able to do.
We saw it. The 50-minute late game, the terrifying Gangplank late game, the double Infinity Edge, the 2,000 damage crits, the one-shotting of 80 carries.
Yep. Don't want to deal with that, especially if you're Zeitnot. If you are a mid-range 80 carry, you're going to be finding yourself using your ulti a lot more than your actual auto attacks.
Gotta give respect over to Swiper on this GP.
He's been playing really well for himself. Actually, he's able to keep up in the matchup. It's going to be fine. Not only is Kure, Kure was actually putting a lot of focus on this bot side of the map, so he was the beneficiary of that. He was able to farm up very well for himself. So now here's this new wave coming in for him. He's been doing quite well.
I mean, moving for more as Dark Passage start to press in their vision line. Spooks, a little bit vulnerable here.
Once again, Chiefs have to commit 2 people here to this bottom lane because Motoru is there. So you can't leave Jin alone with her. So that means since Trundle is dealing with her, Dark Passage have more numbers on this side of the map able to commit to clearing this red side jungle. And they're going to be looking to go towards this top side. Swiffer, or at least Swiper, is going to be the next.
I feel you.
Is going to be the next point of focus here.
Oh, good damage coming in to clear the wave, though. Going to limit the opportunities for them to respond. Gets the shot out first, too, to clear the last bits.
And they have to play the wave clear game. They can't actually force a fight since Jin is going to be in this bot side of the map. Immortal has TP. So if they ever force a fight to try and disengage, a Saigon Joker's tactic.
Oh, Swiffer. Dodge not going to come in from Zeitnot. Flashing in. The Shen going to back him up. Zeitnot with a bit of revenge in the middle lane to cut down Swiffer.
Yeah, definitely can do that. Really well played from him. Knows that he has Elwind on his back pocket. Now they can look to take this mid lane now that they don't have the threat of Syndra really bearing down on them.
Jin maybe hoping to clear out the waves. Trap set up to stop any flanks over the wall. Elwind clearing out the vision. And Mortaru doing the same.
They have to concede this. The Chiefs right now have no way of defending. It was easy for them to defend since they had the 5-man strong with Syndra.
Barrage.
Yeah, exactly. But now
Waves taking the time.
They're getting zoned out completely.
Swiper trying to block out the waves. The connecting shot blocked out by Rogu. Tower now going to fall. Chiefs backing off as expected. Spooks continuing to threaten, though.
30 minutes into the game. Baron buff is going to be coming up in 30 seconds. So right now, Dark Passage is going to back, trying to get their last set of items. A lot of pinks as well, if possible.
And honestly, a 5K gold lead should make the coming fight relatively easy for them. A lot of power if Syndra, or not Syndra, rather Lissandra can ever make it to the back line. Raze, of course, no QSS quite yet. Trundle, no alternative options to protect him.
Yeah, and right now, question is going to be on the Chiefs to be able to deal with the incoming burst. They need to be able to deal with Lissandra's burst damage, and that comes down to being able to get that lock of the Iron Solari. Right now, Ejim is getting it. He's looking to pick it up whenever he can. Speaks won't be able to look to get it. He's trying to get as much innate tankiness.
Yeah, needs a little more survivability. Deadman's Plate going to give him the mobility that he wants to look for those engages. Spooks continuously fearless here. Not afraid to step forward. Elwin now the split pushing threat on the bottom side.
Yeah, all the pressure right now is on the Chiefs. Dark Passage do not have the pressure of time on their back. They can do whatever they want for however long they wanted to. Sure,
well, we say that.
Yeah,
the inevitable gangplank means that they are on a bit of a clock, Raz.
That's
they
true.
do have to make something happen.
That's true. It's a good point.
Oh, Swiffer taking a decent amount of damage. Coling.
They're going to commit to this.
Oh, Swiffer going to flash out, trying to make it to safety. TP coming in. Spook's still alive, trying to get out. Now it comes in from the Lissandra. That's the double kill, but Raze is now set up in the brush to dish out some good damage. Rogu ults out, but it's the shot is still going to connect. Has Elwin overextended. The 3 carries of the team now set to cut him down. Spirit's Refuge buys a bit of time. Elwin now set to fall. He gets the taunt through 3 members. He's buying more time for the rest of his squad, but he has the GA as well. Lissandra's coming over the wall. Raze has to be careful. No, is he going to be able to cut it down? Shots going in. Flashes over the wall. The shutdown. Is he going to be able to get anything else? Has to back away. Zeit not threatening. Throws it out. The blind shot sees him on the pink, and he cuts her down.
That was excellently played from Raze. Really awkward positioning throughout the fight. The 2 carries of Swiffer and Raze were on the side turret, but they were able to set up a good defensive point. Gangplank ulti raining down. They had Dark Passage had no way of really moving towards the back line of the Chiefs. And sure, that was really difficult. It really was an even trade. Chiefs coming out ahead of that one.
Chiefs now moving into the Baron pit. Kira taking his time on the Gromp. They need to defend this. This objective could be the next big fight. No flash for Immortaru. No flash for Raze.
They're going to start up on it.
Committing to this one, they have the damage. Can they cut it down in time? Braum and Rek'Sai are here. Lucian is on the way in. They have the man advantage. Spooks has no level advantage, but the smite is ready.
Rek'Sai is going to be setting up from behind this.
Here's
looking
the
for a steal.
TP. Rogu moving in, blocking what damage he can. Zeitnot's in the middle of the team. Is he going to get cut down? Raze also in trouble. Elwind moving in. Lysandra is up, but not available. Swiffer from the side to cut him down. Elwind, is he going to make it out? I don't think so. Chiefs turn right back to the Baron. Lysandra is here, but it is too little too late. She is too far from the pit. Chiefs, once again, take momentum.
They pulled the game back. They're heading back to base with the Baron. Immortaru had no way, and he's down. Just kidding. Goodbye, buddy.
Immortaru, good pickup on the back end of that fight. Raze over-aggressive to stay.
Yeah, no reason to stay. But at the end of the day, they got the fight that they wanted. Immortaru did not have TP. He was down. Could not come back and help out in that fight overall. There was just mixed communication coming out of Dark Passage. We talk about the fact that they're not together as a team for very much long. So Rek'Sai moves around the pit trying to look for a steal. But Dark Passage initial point, their main front, walks right in, get engaged on, and so Rek'Sai was not here to help him out.
35 minutes in. A small gold lead coming in for Dark Passage, about 2K. 2 Cloud Drakes to 2 Ocean Drakes. 18 kills to 18 kills. The game just about dead even, but Chiefs in a great spot to take control.
So yeah, Rek'Sai, in full context, was in the top side of this pit. There was no reason for Zeitnot to be walking in like that. He was walking in incredibly aggressive for absolutely no reason. So the tank line of Kyrie and Elwind were just awkwardly sitting there with no one to protect. With Lysandra right back at base. So, I mean, Rogu survives. No, he does not.
One more time. The Deadly Flourish, living up to its name.
He is the sniper, Oceanic sniper.
Actually, that would explain why he stayed so long.
Yeah,
I
that
see.
makes
He
sense.
wanted the kill. Okay.
Okay,
we lost that perspective.
That's true. Give him off to him right there. But he's been playing fantastically ever since the laning phase. He has been back in and shooting them down.
And Zeitnot, with such a good start, has been struggling to position in these team fights. Spooks a lot less scared with that Baron buff backing him up.
Yeah, they're just moving right in, and they have the ability to do so.
Looking to knock him back. That's a lot of damage. Shen ult coming in, but will it be enough? They're throwing it down. Immortaru's into the back lines, but Raze is left untouched. He's throwing out what damage he can, but he has to reload. He only has so many shots. Dark Passage are cutting to the Chiefs. The Chiefs have overstayed their welcome, but the GP making sure that they can't push for anything else.
Yeah, so that was really poor positioning from Swiffer, from the Chiefs. They knew that Shen was barreling down that bottom lane. They thought they could burst someone down, meanwhile in that numbers advantage. But they simply could not. They are far too defensively sound. Zeitnot is way too back in terms of just in it. It's like Chiefs are just unable to get to the back line here.
And Spook's hunger, we see Curtain Call coming out, is going to go wide. Spook's hunger for blood there does cost the Chiefs. Trying to burn down the Rek'Sai before the fight could begin, but maybe not the ideal target. Now Spook's playing keep away in the jungle. Dark Passage in a good spot. If they can break an inhibitor, this is going to be great for them.
Yeah, exactly. A perfect opportunity for them. They're just going to take the blue buff, put themselves back in their positions, which is all the more threatening. Once again, Dark Passage, they have a great 1-3-1. Chiefs have to constantly look to answer by either forcing that fight like we just saw, which didn't work out for them, or fighting a losing battle and sending Gangplank bot there. If Gangplank goes to answer the Shen, if he goes to answer the Lysandra, then Lysandra will roam out and get a numbers game team fight, which we saw from Immortaru much early on in the game. And so they're fighting consistently in a losing position. But they're fighting well.
I mean, this is an interesting game as it continues to move later and later. Lysandra, 6 items, looking good. 72,000 gold, of course, for the side of Dark Passage, and we're moving into that late game stage. It's 38 minutes, Raz. Gangplank 4 items for himself.
Yeah, Lysandra has a lot of MR shred and a lot of innate AP. She either needs to die or she's going to kill you.
Terrifying spot to be, especially as all that AoE coming out means she might be able to take out your entire team if given the opportunity. Swiffer a little bit behind in that exchange. 1 item down. Maybe Zanya's here for survivability, but then will miss out on the death cap. Pushing in, Dark Passage taking control of the Baron Pit. No major objectives up or available on the map quite yet, and it's stalled out the game. Both teams content to clear waves.
A lot of armor pen coming out of this, a lot of swiper. So he's looking to actually be able to chip down and deal with the back line of, or the front line of Curie and Elwind with his barrels. It's not going to be as impactful as the crit build that we saw from Gangplank in the previous game that was able to just completely demolish the back line of the enemy team.
And to be fair, we are 30,000 gold away from that point.
Yeah. So maybe you can just resell and reinvest.
We saw it from the Lucian.
Anything's possible.
Not quite that late into the game yet. 3K lead, I'll be honest, is essentially meaningless at this point in the game.
We're a lot of gold away from a fused Zerat's portal, to say the least.
That's true. But hold out hope, friends. We've had it once today. There's no reason we can't have it again. Everybody loves 5 Zerat portal games.
Yeah, so we're in an interesting position where we are 1 minute and 30 away from Baron and 1 minute 15 from Dragon. That's going to be an Elder Dragon. So you got to pick and choose what pressure they want to force. And Chiefs right now have decided they were able to force mid priority and walk up towards this towards Dragon, or Baron, I mean. They only have 2 pinks here. So they better make, well, good use of it.
Moving in to take the vision control as Shen starts to push out on the bottom side. Maybe sending Gangplank to match that pressure.
This pick potential coming out of this bush is not very impactful since Jin does have to answer that top lane, which does actually point out the fact that this top lane outer turret is still available.
Dashing out. Swiffer holding steady. Doesn't want to pull the trigger quite yet.
Yeah, and it was a good sense. It was a good game sense from Elwind to not just ulti there. Seen a lot of Shen's look to do that. He keeps his 131 strong. He's able to just sit there and force Gangplank to this tower.
Yep, and Swiffer, good proactive play. Does get the heal out of Zeitnot. Could be big for the coming fight. Zeitnot going to clear the waves, backed up by the team. Both sides just poking and prodding at each other. Lysandra spending some time on the bottom side of the map.
And we talked about it just before this game. This would be the game that would decide Omotoru's effectiveness as a player here. He didn't really have that opportunity in his first game, and this is definitely an opportunity. He's showing it. 9-3-6. He's been the reason why Chiefs here are having such a hard time.
Yeah, just an impressive presence in Lysandra. If she can find her way into the back line one more time, it could be lights out for the Chiefs. Swiffer in the bush. Sustained CC coming in. Are they going to commit onto Kyrie again? Gangplank ult coming in. Lysandra over the wall, maybe looking for a way into the back line. The Chiefs are grouped up and into the funnel. They're trying to make their way back. They're trying to kite back. Lysandra is left down. Oh my God. Syndra is untouched. The damage is coming in, but Zeitnot is doing so much for himself. The fight continues. There's one member down. Immortaru has dropped. Syndra and Jin on the front line. Here comes the curtain call. 1 shot, 2. Looking for more. Zeitnot in trouble. He's going to get cut down. The Chiefs are taking control as I absolutely lose my mind in that fight.
See, now, I was a little skeptical once Swiper went for the flank Gangplank play. Don't really like to see that. He got bursted down immediately. But it didn't matter. The fact that we're in that small chokehold meant that Raze was able to get off as many bullets as possible, did not get damaged. He is the main carry here, is doing quite a lot of damage for his team. Primarily, usually, you'd think that would be a benefit for Dark Passage to have them in that chokehold, that choke point. But unfortunately, Lysandra was coming in from front to back, was dealt with properly, did not have an opportunity to deal with in flanks, and so Kyrie tried to go in an awkward position to try and flank out, but his team had just died in that entire time, so it was poor communication overall for Dark Passage and how they wanted to use that team fight, how they wanted to play it out. But overall, really well played from the Chiefs to be able to take that going forward and protect Raze at all costs.
Just kiting back, Raze and Swiffer untouched for so much of that fight. It was good communication overall. Swiffer introduces the blue buff to the Elder Dragon. An unlikely friendship. Now moving in for this Elder for themselves, maybe hoping to double down on their advantages. They have to be careful, though. Kirei is here. Can Kirei steal it? Moving forward, they're looking to deliver Shen in. They're going to try to find the disengage. Lysandra stunned up. Spook's the only one in the pit. They're going to look to back off. Pop goes in Mortaru, and the Chiefs are in control of the fight. Rogu trying to disengage. They're just going to turn back and take the Elder Dragon. Zeitnot looks to cull it down, but they're moving forward. Ejim ready to throw up the pillar at a moment's notice. Spooks looking to go in. Chiefs are in the driver's seat. Ultimate
Jhin
comes out from the Jhin. Isn't going to find much as Swiper manages to cut down Rogu. Chiefs now looking to get more. The Shen taunt is coming in. The Lucian does so much damage on the backside. Spooks is in trouble, but he's going to make it out. Kirei has been slain. Will he get taken down again? Yes,
Down
he will.
goes.
The Chiefs are moving up the mid lane. The Chiefs are poised to take the game. They have 4K, the Elder Dragon, the Baron backing them up. The inhibitor is cut down, and only the Shen and the Lucian are left standing.
They're shepherding in a massive wave with Baron buff and Elder Dragon. They have to be able to win here.
Zeitnot on the side. Zeitnot left unattended. Ray's trying to cut him down, though. Ejim running forward. They're trying to get him off. Elwin trying to buy time. Immortaru will respond soon. Will it be enough? They're trying to turn it. Syndra is down. Ray's is up and well. Elwin is going to cut down. Immortaru's on the way in. Chiefs, can they close it out? Ray's is taking so much damage. Immortaru with the hero play to buy time for Dark Passage.
That's unbelievable. Immortaru is going to try and finish them up. With death timers being as it is, Chiefs, or at least Ejim, the only member left alive from the Chiefs, is going to back away, but they don't have much to lose other than the perhaps pressure coming in, the major wave coming in topside, and that's all they can really hope for.
Stunning hold coming in from Immortaru, responding just in time, literally a game of seconds.
They should not have spent the extra time in killing Zeitnot. That was the wrong choice to make. Just commit to the wave. Commit to the towers. The extra time they spent to kill him, the extra time that Ejim went to zone him away was the time they did not have in ending the game itself. But they're not going to lose much from it. Of course, they lost their lives, but they're not going to gain much. There's no objective on the map for Dark Passage to take. They're just going to be able to play defensively. They only lost one inhib. So that's a good point for Dark Passage. They can easily defend that.
And still have the power to flank out in a team fight and look for a win, but it is going to get harder. Swiffer with the Cleanse, Raze with the Mercurial Scimitar, as well as the Crucible coming in for Ejim to make it even harder to get that hard CC down.
It's a good point to make, is that it really just comes down to execution. Immortaru needs to find a different way to attack these team fights, because far too often he's being completely pushed away from Swiffer entirely. So he would get shoved out, there would be no engage, and he would get completely bursted down. That's how that last fight started. He needs to be able to come in at a different angle and burst down that backline. He doesn't even need to kill them. He just needs to chip them down to half HP at the very least, so the rest of his team can really help out.
Well, he's really trying to find a way into the backline, but right now it is the Chiefs who are chipping down the opposition. Raze and Swiffer throwing out the long-range harass. Have to be careful here. Immortaru moving forward. Dark Passage ready to fight this out. A tense moment for both of these lineups.
It's definitely going to be difficult for Chiefs to be able to look for anything here. Dark Passage, 5-man strong.
Looking for the poke here. There is a ward behind the Chiefs. Have to respect the flank. That's a lot of gangplank damage.
Yeah, he does have a lot of armor pin, of course, and Duskblade of Drakthar being able to finish that up means that a lot of damage is going to be put on to any of the tank line here. No one is safe from Swiper's damage.
Waiting on that TP cooldown once again. There is a ward behind them and a massive wave on the bottom side. Dark Passage forced to defend here, though. Can't respond to that wave.
You kind of need to defend that. Which means that's open time for Chiefs to be able to look to auto this tower.
Oh, now throwing down a bit of poke. Ray's really resisting the temptation to step forward. Kirei taking a lot of damage.
They lost their tower bot side.
That wave just continues to push forward. Continues to stack, continues to grow. Is going to be a threat moving forward.
The wave is just getting stacked up larger and larger. Another wave added to that bot lane shove. Either that tower should be able to deal with it, though.
Moving in.
Another
Spooks
auto attack.
Backing out. Raze and Swiffer have to be careful here. If they overstep, traps and barrels backing them up, however. Zeitnot getting aggressive on the step forward. The wave continuing to push in on the bottom side.
All eyes.
See it.
Yeah, that wave is actually just hammering in. It should be able to finish it up. They actually use GP ulti, which means they have to back away completely. That's a lot of damage being taken away from a potential fight.
And maybe waiting in the bush, though, to set up something else. Nope, just backing out here. Chiefs know better than to overextend. Do have the gold lead extended to 5K. Dark Passage holding on for now.
Great defense coming out from Dark Passage. And Chiefs have to respect that because that's so much damage coming out of Immorturu and, of course, Zeitnot. If they dive into that, that's, of course, Braum will just say no. Not going to happen.
And, of course, we are approaching that late game point that we both love so much, Raz. We have the 6-item GP with no boots.
Fond memories.
We have just about everyone in 6 items. If we count the pink ward as a 6-item, then supports are there too.
Yeah.
Oh, waiting for the pick here. Ejim moving forward. Bit of vision cleared out.
Definitely setting up for Baron. If they can get mid-priority, if they can shove out this wave, they can definitely walk towards Baron once again. 10 seconds on it. They're going to push the fight.
Down the bottom side. They're looking to fight Rogu. They're locked up. Immorturu trying to find a way to the back line. Lissandra goes in. Shen goes in as well. Swiffer in trouble. He tries to make it out, but he gets popped. Ray's the last carry left-handing. No, it's Swiper on the backside with so much damage. Spooks looks for the disengage. Ejim pulling back with the rest of the team. The Chiefs backing into safe territory, but they have to be careful. Elwin moving forward is going to get the taunt down on the Rays, but he's going to make it out. He's going to look to make it out. Zeitnot cutting through the team. Ejim running forward, trying to buy more time. Swiper needs one more barrel to make an impact. I don't think he's going to get it. Dark Passage are moving forward. The Chiefs have been aced. The Chiefs have been cut down. Dark Passage may look to end the game.
Yeah, they're pinging down the mid tower. They're definitely going to be looking to do it. They have a lot of towers to look to take down, but those are 40-second death timers on the Chiefs lineup.
30 and counting down for Swiffer. He needs to be up to save this. Can he make the same hero play we saw from Immorturu? Teleport is up for Lissandra. She can rejoin the team too. Shen can as well. This is a great spot for Dark Passage to end.
They're committing to this.
It's been a back and forth game this far. The Chiefs, one overstep. Has it cost them everything? It's moving in. Swiffer, single digits left on the time. I don't know if he has the power. I don't know if he has the AoE. It's not going to be enough.
That's it.
Dark Passage in a 50-minute game managed to pull it out. One last desperate hold from the Chiefs will not be enough, and Dark Passage move up to 4-2.
That was such a hype game. Definitely lived up to the moment. Dark Passage coming out. Immorturu really showing his worth as a player because that was the game they needed. And he really showed up. That last fight.
Oh, so good. And the Chiefs, so hungry to find that engage. They think someone is overextended, but it just ends up being them. They get caught out, cut down.
And that's the power of Braum. Because not only did they not find him, they were trying to get a pick on him. They missed the Gragas body slam. They missed the Trundle Pillar. I mean, it's hard to miss it. He just walked away. And then, of course, he's able to send down his Braum ulti to set the fight up. So they were slowed, able to take the resulting damage. And Lissandra was finally able to pierce the backline. Finally able to EN, Proto Belt, flash, get it going. Now, Jin was the only one who flashed away from that. Swiffer died immediately, but was able to send out the final ulti to get the kill on Immorturu. But that's all they needed. They finally chased down the rest of the Chiefs lineup and got the kills, got the ace. Finally, and this was the fight that worked out for the Chiefs because once again Immorturu tried to go and pierce the back line from front to back.
It looked so good for the Chiefs. It looked grim at the start and then great for them, and it was just such a back and forth game. Well earned by Dark Passage, not giving up. Immorturu, without a doubt, the MVP of that game. Held on when it mattered most. You're going to see the final hold here. Chiefs, the last opportunity, maybe the mistake from Ejim to chase down Zeitnot. Overextension, perhaps. Elwind manages to take a member down. A game of inches. Just moves in, cuts through. Little did Dark Passage know that that would be the game-defining moment for them. The hold that would end them, or end the game in their favor. And this thing, more than anything,
yeah, that was it. Now, Swiffer was able to get the last kill on Immorturu, but that also costed his life. His life was much more valuable, obviously, because at this point forward, Zeitnot was able to just clean it up going forward. Now, Poor ulti timing, but he kind of needed to use it there too. They just tried to find out if that was their point of re-engaging, and it simply was not. So down goes Swiffer, down goes Raze, and that is your damage. Swiper, of course, getting killed as well.
A grim turn of events for the Chiefs, but a good showing from Dark Passage, bringing it back despite some early missteps, and I think one of the closest games we've had in this tournament thus far. And
that was a fantastic game to watch. I think Dark Passage is a team that throughout the entire tournament, they're trying to find a way in. They've showed great strength in split pushing, and they needed to show strength in team fighting. And I think this was the game that they were able to showcase that strength, that they weren't just a one-shot team. And it showed.
The Lysandra pick was magnificent, and Zeitnot honestly struggled through most of that game, managed to get an early lead. It looked pretty good from him at certain times, but did show up in that final team fight. Lysandra and Shen paved the way for him to just be able to show up and do damage, and that was like the moment that mattered most, really.
I mean, it was just a battle of which AD carry was going to be far more behind. Because, of course, we saw the assassinations on both ends. Swiffer taking down Zeitnot on the other end of the map. Jin trying to regain some form of CS at all, trying to get some CS to his name. And then, not going to happen. Lysandra just deletes him from the map. And so it turned out it just came down to team fights and team fight execution. And in the end of the day, Chiefs lost out on that front.
It's true. I mean, they had so many great opportunities. The front-to-back team fights clearly in their favor when the Syndra and the Jin could sit in the back lines and dish out all that damage, but all it took was one flank. One moment where the Chiefs overextended or got over-aggressive for Lysandra to find that free way into the back line, to cut down Raze, to cut down Swift, or whoever they could get their hands on. Swiper even. You have such a vulnerable team. So much potential damage, but if they ever make it to that back line, you are done, because that Lysandra is going to cut through everyone.
Exactly, and here's what it comes down to. It was honestly in Dark Passage's favor from the beginning of the game in terms of composition, because there was no real way for Raze and Swiffer to protect themselves. Trundle's not going to be able to do that. Gragas is going to be actually in engage duty, so if he engages the fight, how is he going to disengage from that? So right there, you have a triple threat composition that their threat is in their damage. If they can't get the damage going for them first, then they lose out. If at any point Lysandra ever gets a flank position or a flank ward, which honestly Dark Passage did poorly this game, where they only got that one moment, and honestly that one moment was all they needed. But if they ever got it going for them, they ever got that one team fight work, and they would win.
I mean, that's the thing, is we got so far into the game that it was one team fight, no matter what. And we thought that one team fight was when the Chiefs were able to push in. We thought that would be the excellent moment. But, I mean, it was just literally just a game of inches. Like, it was nail-biting. It was so close. I was convinced that the Chiefs were going to end, and Lysandra comes up just in time. And if she had been a little bit less successful, if he had been any less fed in the mid lane on a mortar room, maybe it would have been a different story. But just free to essentially one-shot the Chiefs lineup as he respawned.
Yeah, anyone who finds themselves in that position when they're trying to get that last shot in on the Nexus turret, obviously that's going to be really heartbreaking to anyone who tries to go for that. And maybe they're going to look back at it days and days, maybe months from now, where they look at that that last Nexus push that said, should we either have backed away entirely so we didn't get completely aced and maybe get just vision control and we look for it once again, or maybe we just prioritize differently, maybe let Zeitnot go. He can do whatever damage he wants. We need to let him to commit to us rather than chasing him down and then get the Nexus. So there were a lot of points throughout this game. It really felt like a journey through and through. But at the end of the day, Dark Passage get the necessary win for themselves to push themselves forward. This means that 100% they're going into the playoffs format, and now Chiefs have to fight it out to see who they're going up against and if they can possibly get fourth place.
And if they get fourth place, it's so terrifying because, once again, fourth versus first, that's fighting down Lion Gaming. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Chiefs talk some good smack. It was good, but Lion showed up with a little bit better results, and I think that you have to be scared playing this team in a best-of-5 because maybe this is different territory. The Chiefs are more experienced in this realm. We can safely say that maybe this will benefit them, but you can't afford to let your mental game be shattered at all because there's still more games ahead of you. You have another game tomorrow, and additionally, looking towards a best-of-5 against the top team, the currently unstoppable team of Lion Gaming. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Chiefs must have been looking at this game and wondering, well, if we had won this game, this meant we would have had a larger opportunity of facing IMTZ, who they had a better record against. And so that would have been very nice. But obviously, life doesn't work out that way. Now you're going up against a Lion Gaming roster that is honestly a massive force. If they can even get that. If they can get that 4th place position, then that's well and dandy. But now they have to go up against Albus Nox Luna, who have the head-to-head against them. So now it looks like it's very possible that they might even be out of that contention entirely.
It's a terrifying spot to be, especially when this looked like a very good year for the Oceanic team to win out. But you can see your MVP in that game, KDA 3. Maybe not the most pretty KDA, but 12-6-6, and this was the man that made every single fight work for Dark Passage.
Exactly, and so the biggest question was this a worthwhile investment for Dark Passage? They were heading down, they had Caps as their mid laner, they needed a replacement, they brought in Kozku, and of course, as their sub, they finally got in Immorturu, and he only played in that one game in which he lost, but it wasn't really his fault. He really had no options in that game, but this was his testing period, and I guess he passed.
I would say he passed pretty handily. I think, looking at the way that he played Lissandra, it was good. It looked like the team was on the same page playing around him.
Yeah, exactly. From beginning to end, he made his plays known, and it worked out exactly fine.
All right. Well, we're going to have to talk more about that later because we're going to send it over to Hingers, who's standing by.
Thanks very much, guys. I'm now joined by Immorturu from the team that's just won. How are you feeling? You're a late call-up and a substitution in. Do you feel like you've been a positive influence on the team?
Yeah, we're winning, so it should be positive, but I think I'm performing better. Like, I perform better than the other day.
Yeah.
I think if I get the hang of it, the stage, if I get used to it, and I'll be performing better in the future.
What was the difference between yesterday's play and today's play for you?
We played a scale comp, and we didn't wait for it, and we just made a really bad team fight in the mid lane, and we lost that game. And today it was just like team fight comp, and we were good in early and late game as well. So we fight a lot, and we won.
Yeah. So you feel pretty. Do you feel confident going into semifinals now?
Yeah, I'm feeling confident. Like I'm playing solo queue and playing scrims as well, and I'm improving every day. So hope to be better in the semi-finals.
Excellent stuff. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us. Congratulations on the win, and yeah, that's all from us. We'll send it back to the guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Hingers. I like it. I like Immorturu's attitude. I think, looking at the way he's playing scrims, he's getting better, he's hoping to get better, and he's just thinking ahead to those semifinals. He's not worried about the nitty-gritty on getting there. He's just like, this is my focus. I want to be good in this instance.
Exactly, and this could be a great long-term investment, of course, because now not only was he this good now, but moving forward into the, let's say, next split going for this team, could be something that they really love to look into, because not only does he have a positive mindset, but he is a positive player, really solid player.
Well, speaking of mindset, we're going to have to hear from the losers of that game as Hingers is standing by with the Chiefs.
All right, I'm here now with EGM support for the Chiefs. Commiserations for the loss just then. What do you reckon happened in that game? It was a long game, but things kind of just fell apart in that last team fight.
Yeah, we played really slow and reactive, I think, which is not good, and that's not Chiefs League of Legends. And yeah, I don't know, there was a lot of miscommunication, or like, not miscommunication, but like bad calls, I think. It just led to like a really long, like heartbreaking game, I guess.
Yeah. I think there's a sliver of hope potentially for you guys to still make it to semis if Saigon Jokers and a few other results go your way.
Yeah.
So what are you going to be doing to kind of help them out between now and the end of the tournament?
Maybe we'll just spam scrims and hopefully like get them a win. I don't know. Like, yeah, we just have to go back, try and not let the loss affect us, and like win our next game, because like if we don't win, we're out. I think 100%, and then just rely on like results. RNGesus to get us through, I guess.
Yeah. So you've come this far though, so it's kind of an accomplishment either way, right? Do you feel, or
no, like I don't see it that way. Like, I've been to Wildcard so many times now, and like we just like we come here and then we lose, and it's just really heartbreaking, I guess. Yeah. So like, yeah, hopefully we can still make it to playoffs, and hopefully we can continue forward. But yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, thanks again for talking to us, and that's all from us. Send it back to you guys at the desk.
That's
what it is.
It is what it is. That
Yeah.
sounds a little rough, I'll be honest. And it's it's a grim way to think about it. But hopefully they can find that next win, and they're going to keep their fingers crossed for the results to favor their way into the top 4.
And I'll tell you, one of the worst times to give you an interview is after you come out of a 50-minute loss and heartbreaking defeat as well. The timing of that. So it is what it is. He's obviously torn up about it, but hey, anything's possible. Tomorrow's another day.
And a real champ for giving that interview. But of course, we're going to throw to a quick break as we get ready for our 5th and final game of day 5 here at the International Wildcard Qualifiers.